What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to Lactic Acid. I am your host, Dominique Smith. Today, I have a certified baller, shot caller, world champion, Olympic gold medalist. And listen, if you do not believe that world peace is possible, Katie Nageotte, my guest tonight, is proof that there is, because she is the second person in United States history to bring a championship back to Cleveland. So we are on and popping and in great company tonight. Katie Nageotte is tonight's guest. Katie, how are you doing on this fine evening?
Hi, I am great. Thank you for that introduction and thank you for having me.
It is true. Like literally, if there's a Mount Rushmore, like Steph Curry, I know he's from Akron, but he really didn't bring it back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, but
No.
there's only two people. There's only two people. You and LeBron James. And if you are a member of the Cleveland Browns organization, you have your answer to what can turn this season around. Because I don't know what's going on. See, I don't root for Cleveland, but I don't know
No,
what's going on there with the
I do.
Browns. So I feel bad, man. Like you have to watch that every single weekend.
Yeah. Well, I try to. I live in Atlanta, so unfortunately, I don't actually get the game very often unless I'm actually at a Browns backer bar, which some days are my rest days. So half the time I'm like, I just want to be cemented to my couch. But yeah, it's been a little tough this year. It started out promising, but that's sports.
Uh,
That's Cleveland.
it's Cleveland, man. Gosh, can't even watch the Browns. It's even worse. You have to watch the Falcons. Arthur Smith, I just have to say this. I know I just have to say this for the sake of my fantasy league. And if anybody's listening, please pray for my fantasy football team because we need the Lord's touch. Kyle Pitts, man, use this man. I like he's like I'm depending on him. Ain't
Yeah.
no reason he should only have 2.9 points per game.
Yeah. No.
But that's neither here nor there. That's I just had to a quick PSA. So I've been asking this question as of late. So I have to ask you this, but we're gonna change up the food item. So let's just say, Yankee Candle and the great people up at Thurman's Cafe in Columbus. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about.
I am not super familiar with Columbus. I've heard of it,
Okay.
but my mom and my sister went to Ohio State, but I didn't. So
Ooh, okay.
I've been there. I've been to Columbus.
So
And
Thurman, go ahead. Oh,
no, sorry, that was that half.
Thurman's is this high key, from what the kids tell me, amazing local burger joint
Okay.
that it's like the staple. Like Cleveland has, those staple restaurants. Um,
Yeah.
and so Thurman's is that.
Okay.
So Thurman's and Yankee Candle, as well as a pumpkin patch, got dinner one night and said, you know what, man? Katie Nageotte is somebody that is so freaking amazing that we would be wasting the fall season if we did not invest in her awesomeness. Like literally, that's like having a piece of fried chicken and letting it go to waste. And we cannot do that with
Right.
such a great talent as this. So we need to come up with something that is suited for her greatness. So Thurman said, we're going to reach out to her and she has to make a custom made hamburger
Okay.
that she wants on the menu. Yankee Candle said, bet, that's a great idea. And so they said, we need her to make a custom made fall scented candle
Okay.
to go with it. Food Network was like, well, we want to get into parties since we're talking about food. What if we gave her her own baking championship and she came up with the theme? So I need you to tell me the burger, the candle,
Okay.
the show, and the title for all of it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the burger, I and I guess if we're going quote unquote cheat meal because you got to do the burger right.
Oh yeah.
Also, just I just got diagnosed with celiac disease, so I am now gluten free. So we'll
Oh,
say this is pre gluten free. This was like in the last couple weeks, so this is very new.
I'm
I
sorry.
no,
I
it's
feel
okay. It's okay. It's totally fine. I love talking about food. It's probably my favorite topic. So I would say with the burger, I would probably throw bacon, barbecue sauce, some mac and cheese on there. Like a barbecue bacon mac and cheese burger. It's messy. I've had a variation of that before. And so
okay.
that I didn't just come up with this out of nowhere. I've had like a mac and cheese burger before and it was awesome. So
Okay. I've
yeah.
never had that yet, but okay. I like that. Okay. But let me ask a quick question about the burger. Are they the smash burgers or are they like the half pound patties?
I would say they're the thinner ones.
Okay.
So like not like super, not like McDonald's thin, but like
No, no,
just
no, no.
like the kind of
Like a
not super
burger part.
thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay.
um, and then for the candle, I mean, fall scents are kind of my favorite. So I like gosh, my favorite right now is from Bath and Body Works. It's a marshmallow fireside. And I like
Ooh.
it because it's sweet, but it's smoky. So I don't like when something's super sweet. So I mean it'd be that, but I can't say I made that up.
It's okay. That's okay.
I like smells that have like kind of aren't just like sweet. Like I don't do just vanilla. I like when there's like a
A
smoky.
sweet and savory aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh gosh, I just like don't bake ever, but I would say I'm pretty boring when it comes to like what I like. I
Now you're the host of this show, so everybody else is doing the baking
okay.
and the sculpting. So it's whatever is enticing to you.
Okay.
That's what we're rolling with.
I guess I would have them create like a pole vault pit, like their rendition
Oh,
of a pole vault pit. So it could be like cupcakes to make up the pit and it like, or it could be like a cake with like the fondant or, I would probably have them create some sort of like a pole vault pit, whatever their like idea of it.
oh man, well that could be really bad.
Yeah.
If it's, uh, I like that. So here's the hard part. What are we naming this entire project?
Um, oh, let's just say, I, gosh, I don't know. Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
That's
Um,
I'm
let's,
trying to think of something as well.
yeah, like, oh,
So
Katie's.
okay.
Sorry, what were you saying?
So I'm trying to think. Okay, so Cleveland is like known for its blue collar industrial town,
Okay, yeah.
and then you're a gold medalist.
Uh-huh.
Just call it just the I don't know, the fall festival because
I guess like the gold
the blue collar gold. I don't know.
the gold
Uh
the gold bar. Like
oh, now that's a good one. The gold bar. Okay,
might have to
there.
cut out some of that hemming and hawing, but
Okay, probably. There's the gold bar. There's the Valter's Delight or
that okay. Yep. See now we're getting into it. Yep.
Valter's Paradise. Okay, okay, okay. I'm with it.
I
And I am that's usually the tough. And here's the thing, I come up with this question and like when I ask you the question, I try to think of something else, but the past couple episodes, I have just like
no,
messed
I
myself
like
over.
it. It's fun. It's very
Oh
fun.
man. So y'all, we need to make that happen. So if anybody has connections to the connections that I'm referring to, then A, I need y'all to sponsor this show. B, let's make that happen in general. Let's get that going.
Let's do it.
So I love that you enjoy talking about food, because if you pretty much 60% of the episode is us talking about food always on this show. But we got to talk about how, like, your greatness for a second, because I said this on another show. There are 4 events that are just, you have to be just about 32% crazy to compete in.
Football's
The
a
ma-
little more.
I'm getting to that. The marathon,
Yep.
the marathon, I said the hammer
Yep.
throw, because that's crazy.
Hard.
Anybody who lines up against Sydney McLaughlin, and then the pole vault. What I just don't, and I've seen it like in high school, I've seen, vaulters, vault these stupid meters, and I'm like, the law of, it's not as if the law of physics does not apply to the pole vault, because what comes up must come down.
Yeah.
And like, you just need to make sure you're going forward instead of backwards.
Yeah.
What is it about the pole vault and how insane that event is that makes you keep going back to it? Because obviously you found something. You found the golden ticket that Willie Walker and those kids couldn't even find. You found it faster than them. So what is it about that event that you just love?
Honestly, the feeling when you clear a bar in a competition, it feels so good, and especially when it's a personal best or it's a high bar in an important competition, it's something that's very hard to replicate. I think the best way that I can describe it to people is like, if you're watching your favorite sports team in a championship, let's say it's football, for example. Let's say it's the Browns. Wishful. It's the Super Bowl. It's tied. We have the ball. They snap the ball. Time's out. He throws a Hail Mary. We catch it and we win the game. That moment of instant elation, that is what we get when we clear a bar, especially when it's, a major event, a personal best. That like immediate explosion of happiness and energy, and like, that's what we feel. And so that's what we're chasing every time.
You can tell, because I don't know if there's an event that generates more immediate reaction
Yes.
than and it's so funny, like sometimes watching the pole vault, you don't have to be all the way over the bar. It's just like you guys have a sixth sense.
As soon as like you're over and you haven't touched. So, and that's what I like, is that even like in the action shots, you don't have time to calculate your reaction. It's just a pure raw emotion. So you're just seeing that. And I think it's really cool. Yeah.
No, it is, because like seeing you'll vault, you'll come down, and then it's like you bounce off of the mat, and then it's just like the double fist pump. It's like, man, because personally, like when I first, started watching the pole vault, I thought the immediate reaction was like, okay, well, they survived, and everything.
It's like, yep, I lived another one. So
like I lived another one, because I don't know if there's a race or an event that gives me more anxiety than the pole vault.
My mom would probably say the same thing. So,
but here's the thing. I say this all the time. That's the event that needs to be front and center, because and I was a thrower, and coach throws, and so naturally I have a special place in my heart for field events.
Right.
But I would stop and pay money to watch them. We used to do it in high school.
Yeah.
Like literally, we would get done throwing the discus, and we didn't have like Central Florida. We had a few really good pole vaulters, but it wasn't like quantity. We run the sprints down here, and then the distance and and everything. But if you got in a good pole vault competition, everybody would they would have their tents and their little umbrellas, and we sit there and watch. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what is it? Is so like amazing. John Anderson came on the show, and yeah, and I have this question for you. But because I think the same thing he said about Mondo applies to you as well. He said one day he's gonna vault so high that he's gonna come down with snow. Like, and I feel like you're getting to that point where you're gonna vault, and then one of the elements, this is just like, okay,
Thank you.
we're gonna know there's a 60% chance of rain on the way.
By the way,
uh
guys, it's raining.
yeah, like you can see the clouds, you just have like this easy access to just like everything that's going on in the atmosphere. What is it like, just the how do you control your anxiety and your emotions, especially when you're in a tight competition? Because I'm just telling you, like, I've checked my heart rate and it's in the 150s. I'm like, I'm not even competing or anything. I can't imagine what it's like for you guys, because you look so calm, cool, and collective. Like it's game 7 and you're about to nail like the 2 free throws. Or better yet, you're like LeBron when he blocked Iguodala against the Warriors, and it's like blocked by James. Like that's you,
Great.
like when it comes to the clutch. So um yeah.
Yeah, it's something I've worked really hard at because I definitely can let anxiety get the better of me. But I think what it comes down to is just how you practice. And with my coach, and granted, I will say I have been very fortunate where I just, even from a young age, when the bar went up, when I was in a competition, I just like a flip switched and I just performed, so to say. And so thankfully you kind of either have that or you don't, I think, at this level. And I think at this level everybody has it to a degree, but um it's the way I practice. My coach, when I started working with him back in 2017, I believe it was, he taught me how to think on the runway. And I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I would just run down with adrenaline, throw my hands up and hope for the best and kind of almost go on autopilot.
Yeah.
And he taught me how to think and how to make my body do what I want it to do. And we call those my cues, my execution points. And so by focusing on my cues and just telling my body what I want it to do every time, by focusing on that in practice, in drills, every approach down the runway, everything that I do, then when I get to a competition, it's kind of second nature to think
Right.
that way, and it really helps keep the emotion out of it. So it's much more um I I guess intentional, and you're not just kind of hoping for the best. So you
Yeah.
still feel the anxiety. I mean, trust me, at the Olympics I was nauseous, numb, electricity running through my body. I mean, it was unlike anything else. So we feel it. If I look calm and collected, I'm glad to hear that because I don't feel that way inside.
No,
Yeah.
like you look like a smooth operator.
I
Like,
don't feel like it. I always say I will. I'm sure, like, I will miss the sport, but I will not miss like opening height nerves. I
oh
will
my
never
gosh.
miss that. I will never miss like what I will miss is once you're in the competition and in your rhythm. I
Yeah.
love that. But like going into a meet, the nerves that I feel kind of like just a little sick to my stomach. I just don't like that uneasy feeling. So yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I feel that naturally I will never be an Olympian, and you sure will never catch me running down a pole vault. Like, listen, that's just,
Fair enough.
and I'm no, because I'm not about that life. That's some other level bravery that I'm just not about. But just even in high school, the first throw of the discus, I remember, like, it's like I'm a senior in high school. I've done this 4 years. I should be fine.
Yeah.
Then I scratched on the first throw.
It,
Like,
yep. I trust me. I mean, I missed my first two attempts at the Olympics. Like I hadn't done that all year. I really haven't done that much in my entire life. Like I haven't no heighted very often, thankfully, knock on wood. And I haven't really even needed 2 attempts very often at my opening bar. So it was just add that to the fact that it's like the biggest meet of my life, and I don't wish that feeling on anyone.
I don't, but here's the thing. Mm, how do I say this? I can't say it fully. Like, I think some track and field, like the track athletes feel it to some extent, specifically in the first round.
Yes.
Um, because you just don't know. We've seen it so many years, the first round, like in 2012, everybody's in the 400, for example. Everybody's supposed to run 45, 46. Well, what happens when somebody pops a 42? I mean, a 44 or, something like that. And then your whole race plan is just shot to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
But there's something about field events because you have to sit there and you don't have a day
Yeah.
to get, just to shake it off. You got like 10 minutes
Yeah.
to kind of shake back and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and that is one upside to what we do is that it's not dependent on other people. Like there isn't that racing element of like I have to go with this person. Like it's very you and your game plan, but because there are just so many things that can go wrong technically, it's like every point. I mean, we are just practicing every day to try and get it as close to perfect as possible and to eliminate as many variables as possible. But there are just so many. If you overrun your step by just a couple inches, it completely changes the dynamic of your jump. And I mean, there's so many things happening that it can, and it's different places you compete. You just, some places are just a little slightly different. Humans build it. So there's human error. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, there's all these things that go into it that you're just, it's stressful.
Well, let me ask you this. In Tokyo, was it more nerve-wracking not having anyone there compared to having like 50, 60, 70, 80,000 people?
I wouldn't say it was more nerve wracking. What I'm happy about is that we had practice doing that. I
Mm.
competed at local high school meets where there was like no one there. I competed at diamond leagues where the stadiums were empty and it was literally just you, your coach, and the bar. And so thankfully that really worked to my advantage. And I think it's because my coach has done a good job of teaching me how, again, with those cues, just coming down the same way every time and just hitting it as hard as I can every time. And so no matter what's going on, and I mean, I still felt like this is the Olympics. I definitely had,
Oh
it
yeah.
felt different than any other meet I had been in. And as much as I tried to tell myself it's just another meet, it's the same thing you always do. It's not the same. Your body knows that. Like you can't trick it. And in a way it was awesome because I do think I do well with that. I mean, when there's pressure, I tend to do, obviously not always, but I tend to, I like that. I like that adrenaline. But what I will say is I know other women feed off the crowd and aren't always as good in those situations where there's not a big crowd. And so I think that worked to my advantage a little bit. So
You have a clutch gene that, my God, does the Guardians, the Lord, the Browns need Jesus. Um, I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
From my own
sorry.
spirit.
It's oh my gosh. They need a court. Well, they need more than a quarterback. Free my dog Nick Chubb, man. Like that. We'll get to football in a second.
Oh
It's
gosh, yeah.
but you have like a legit clutch gene. I mean, listen,
Thank you.
you won in Tokyo. Then you come back. I've said this about the World Championships. I feel like you and everybody who competed deserved an extra for the Team USA deserved an extra medal for having
Thanks.
because when you think about like Eugene, so like the height is on home soil, so
Yeah.
you have to put on a show,
Yeah.
and then the turnaround was just so fast. Like the Olympics drains you. You
Yeah.
got to turn around
Yeah.
and you have to get prepared for something. Granted, it's World Championships, it's not the Olympics, but because of where it is,
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh
It
my gosh. Yeah, it's huge. And it's like you have to put on, it's Eugene and stuff. And it's, you know, and so the fact that you came back and still balled out, it's
was-
like, do you realize, and I say this in two sentences. A, bravery from the sense to put yourself out there again and then deliver like it was nothing. That's one. B, the fact that you can like die and stuff from this event.
always a possibility.
Always a possibility. And so if anybody who wants to do the pole vault, do not feed off the fear that I have, because I have a fear of heights. So this is
I mean,
just
I am afraid of the pole vault. Like, let
okay.
that be very clear. It terrifies me. Me and my coach talk about this all the time, and part of that thinking on the runway is so that that fear doesn't get the better of me. But I am a naturally anxious person, and so when I am doing something that can create anxiety, it will. And so pole vault is a bit scary, even though nothing has ever happened to me to warrant that. On some level, I know it, and so it can. I mean, it can definitely get the better of me, and it did this past year a little bit. I think, like you said, it was just such a turnaround, and I just felt really burnt out in a way that I never expected. I think coming off the Olympics, I'm like, great, I finally like harnessed this. Like, I'm good at this. Like, not that I didn't believe that before, but it's like, okay, I got it. And I just crashed emotionally, physically. I just crashed really hard, and then I had to start competing again because worlds were in the United States. Like, I don't and it was a very frustrating feeling of, I need to amp up, and my body literally wouldn't. Like, I couldn't get myself to care. I knew I wanted to care because worlds is in the United States. We will never have this opportunity again. I want to compete in front of my family and friends. Why don't I care? Like, why can't I make myself motivated? And I didn't know if it was, okay, I achieved this big thing. I'm 31. Maybe this is just how it feels when you're ready to be done. I don't know, but I knew that I wanted to accomplish more, but I also know that this was the biggest thing I wanted to accomplish. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, is this just what it's like when I'm done? And so I kind of made a deal with myself that if I couldn't muster it up for worlds and even just pull it together for that, then that was my sign. Then that was it. Then we were going to call it. Thankfully I did. I still had that in me, which I didn't have a great year of training and competing. I mean, if you followed my season, it was not, I mean, it was my worst season competing outdoors by far. But all the work that we had put in the years in advance, before that, thankfully, is what kind of gave me enough of a foundation to pull it out on that day. But I can't do that again.
Okay,
um,
but here's the thing. You look at it as like, and granted, I can't speak for you, but like your year was not on par with what you wanted,
yeah.
which is fair. But glass half full. I remember. I think it was Dwight Phillips. He made a comment about, I think it was 2011 in Daegu, and he said his season was not going well. He had faced these young jumpers in the long jump, and they were starting to get the best of him. But he ended up winning because, like your season may not have gone well, but you know how to win. And so, like you have like the toughness of hen's teeth. Um, and so like that's what I say, glass half full. Okay, cool. Season wasn't on par, and I couldn't, I had these struggles, but it's like I'm Katie the job. Like I do this. I know how to win. And
Yeah.
that's why I, mentioned
Yes.
mentioned the bravery, because everything in your journey like prepared you for like the adversity that you faced, and you
Yeah.
came away with a gold medal. And so
Yeah.
like, yeah.
No, it ended up being awesome. And I think it just showed me that I really am better than I sometimes give myself credit for, because I'm very quick to believe the bad. I'm really like, I have a bad practice and it consumes me. I mean, I
Mhm.
try not to let it be that way, but my coach has talked about, like, I tend to get on this roller coaster of, like, if I have a bad practice, I'm a terrible pole vaulter. If I have a good practice, then I'm great at this, and so it just needs to be more of this even keeled. And it was just a lot of the down last year. And so um thankfully, I mean, I met with sports psychs. I tried to do a lot of things, but it was just, I think it was just something where I just needed a break. I needed to get away from it completely
Yeah.
for a while. I took 6 weeks off, not just physically, but emotionally. I didn't really do any interviews. I didn't really do any events or things relating to pole vault, maybe one, two, but the rest of it was spent just with my family and, my friends, and just getting away. And I feel so different now coming back. And I think that's just something I didn't get after the games. And part of a rest, an
Yep.
off season, is not just getting away physically, but mentally getting away from the track
Uh,
too. And after 5 years of a buildup, it just, and I don't regret any of it, because it was an unbelievable whirlwind. And just the support that I got and the opportunities I got to do were so cool. And I wouldn't have changed anything other than maybe, spacing it out a little bit, or I don't
right.
know. I mean, maybe not, because I think after something like that, you kind of have to take advantage of those opportunities. And so I just knew that this off season was going to be different. And I feel so good this preseason. I came back really excited and motivated. And, like I said, having the season I did, but then doing what I did at Worlds, I think really just kind of changed my perspective on myself a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. So
Pretty much what Katie's trying to tell everybody is she's coming in the season like a wrecking ball, and everybody,
a little
yeah,
bit.
she came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
I will say this before we move on to the off track stuff. It would have been clutch if like it went Olympics, non-championship year, Eugene.
Yeah, I think that would have made a huge difference. And
Uh,
it was the pressure of needing to compete in Eugene and feeling the way I did. It was just like butting heads. Like, I have to be here, but I don't want to be here. And I knew I
yeah,
still wanted to pole vault, but I just couldn't make my body want to do it.
yeah, yeah. So, like I said, she listen. I said toughness of him, teeth, the braveness of God, anybody. He's like any because
Well,
that is
thank you.
some serious braveness. What are three things that the human race does not know about Katie Nageotte?
Well, I guess something on this podcast that was already mentioned, I just got diagnosed with celiac disease. So
Ugh,
my brother was celiac. Basically, what that means is I can never eat gluten again in a perfect world. I just have to cut that completely from my diet, which is unfortunate because it's in so many things that I like. Like, for those that don't know what it is, it's basically in wheat, rye, and barley. So anything with flour, anything with, pasta, breads, a lot of sauces put flour and
really?
gluten
Oh,
in there. Yeah. So you just have to, the good thing is most of what I eat is relatively gluten free, because rice is fine. Any rice product, so like rice noodles, which I like because I eat a lot of Asian food anyways. Any meats, and like a lot of sauces are becoming gluten free, so it's just like soy sauce has gluten in it, so I have to get a gluten free soy sauce. Yeah, it's just things you don't even think about. um
wow. I
so
did not know that.
yeah, so with that being said, in a
Okay.
way, I'm kind of excited, because so it basically just ruins your intestines to where you can't absorb nutrients the way you're
Mm.
supposed to. And by eliminating the gluten, I'll be able to absorb nutrients better. So I'm like, am I going to feel a lot better? Like, I don't feel bad. I know a lot of people that have it feel terrible. I don't. And so could I be like that much better? Like, could I have more energy? Could I get stronger. I'm trying to be as positive about this as
No,
I can be.
there are definite benefits because I was at the store the other day and I was buying something. I don't even know if I have it, but it said GF on it.
Yep.
And I just noticed that everything is saying GF. And so I'm like, okay, I need
Yeah.
to make sure that GF don't mean no taste. And so,
No, it's good, thankfully, because going gluten free was kind of a fad diet.
yeah.
There's a lot more products out there that taste good because companies were just catering to this, but it's been, a thing for a while. But even things like it leaves a film, so like you have to really either deep clean your stuff or just buy new plates, silverware, pots, pans, things like that. So I bought new stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
going out to eat, cross contamination. It's a new lifestyle that we're figuring out. So
But the thing is, I think you're going to be able to enjoy food better because you can actually taste the natural product.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm gonna be healthier as a result
Oh,
because,
yeah.
for example, when you go to a restaurant, and I love going out to eat, but if you get appetizers, they are either fried or on bread. And now I can't really do that anymore. So, unless it's fried in like a gluten-free batter with a gluten-free fryer, like,
But there are so many, it's trending that way.
it is.
That's the thing. Like I had something the other day and I was a little nervous because I'm a fried chicken fanatic, um and everything. And so it was like, well, we're frying this in this oil and this gluten-free non. And I'm like, lady, I need is my chicken gonna taste good? And she's
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
got
gonna
it.
taste good. Like I have to,
Was it good?
it was really good. I was like
Good.
shocked. Like it tasted fresher. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So again, like I say, now that you're going gluten free and you're gonna, be healthier and everything, I'm trying to tell y'all, Katie coming in like a wrecking ball. Track and field better watch out.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So that, and then I wouldn't say like the human race doesn't know this, but I I haven't talked about it a ton lately. I played trombone in high school in the
Oh
marching
snap.
band.
Okay.
Yeah. I played trombone growing up, and I was actually pretty decent at it. I was first chair in the like all area
Oh
band
snap.
to try out
Okay.
for. So that would be two, and then um I get people, I guess, know this about me, but I don't get to talk about it as much. I Part of my degree was in fashion, and I got
Really?
to do a study abroad in Paris during Paris Fashion Week and like help at some of the fashion shows, like dressing the models and things like that. So
Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm like talking royalty right now. Because first of all,
not
I'm a
even close.
huge it's crazy. I love the marching band. Um like, as dumb as to sound, because I grew up in a musical family.
Ohio
Um
State to
oh
Biddle.
wait, okay. I have a controversial take.
Uh
Ohio State's band is known as the best damn band in the land.
oh.
That's not true.
Oh,
There's a band down here,
okay.
the Florida A&M Marching 100 Rattlers,
Okay.
HBCU.
Okay.
They are better.
Ooh,
They
those fighting words.
there's two bands that's better than Ohio State.
Okay.
And Florida A&M is. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all do great stuff. Don't kill me. We need you to play well Saturday. But and listen, I can't hate. They just got a shout out on Twitter from Elton John.
Yeah.
But gosh, yeah, I
The other,
love.
I haven't seen the other ones. I think what's so impressive for me with Ohio State's band is just the formations they create and the way
It's
they
insane.
like images literally come to life just by walking like and creating these pictures. So that's not to say like other bands don't that play better songs. I don't know,
No,
but
no, 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 no. That's why I said they're top three. They're
like,
top three.
they're top three. All right.
Yes, like I said, because the bands that I just mentioned do the exact same things and then
Okay.
some. And like Florida A&M played for the White House, they played at the Super
Nice.
Bowl, they played for the Queen and all this other stuff. So, and I have family that went there,
Fair enough.
Florida
Fair enough.
A&M.
I got the
Um,
other one to Ohio State, so I can understand.
so we got we it's all love, it's all thrill and no
Respect.
filler.
Yeah,
So
exactly. It's all love. I
re-
respect it.
res- respect, but the trombone, do you think that you could do, like if they said, okay, Katie, we need a trombone player, do you think you could fit into those formations that they do? Because let me tell y'all something, marching band, if you picked on them in high school, then that means you personally peaked early, because that is one of the toughest things to do,
I
especially in a uniform.
How much time do I have? Is it like you have to jump in right now or
Oh my, you can't
yeah,
do that right now. You have at least a week and a half.
a week and a half? I don't know. I don't think I could memorize the music in a week and a half. I would probably if I had like over a month to like sit down because I remember like the basic like the notes and like reading sheet music. I could do that, but I think just what they do at that level, I would have to sit down with a like private lessons and shit, and
Yeah.
get my old teacher, Mr. K, like and and get that done. But I mean, if they were in a very dire situation and I had some time, I could maybe pop in, but I don't know. I mean, at that level, you're just doing some pretty incredible things. So
See, I was in the percussion. I played the drums.
my brother did as
Um,
well.
oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Um, thought about marching band. I was like, ooh, and I just stuck to football instead.
I don't blame you. In all honesty, I didn't really want to do marching band because I wanted to be with my friends up in the stands.
Oh, for sure.
But the rule was we had to do it for 2 years if you wanted to be in band all 4 years. And my parents
Uh,
were like, "You chose to do this. We put a lot of money into buying this instrument for you. You
oh
have
yeah.
to do it through high school." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." But I don't want to do marching band. So, but I respect marching band. I think it's amazing. I love what they do for the shows. I just wanted to be like up with my friends during the
Oh,
game.
for sure. There's if you're not on the field, you need to be in the stands. Especially Ohio high school football. Well, Florida is crazy. Ohio, I'm
Of course,
learning that.
Ohio's
Uh,
fun. I
Ohio's
we
crazy.
really get into our football. So
I didn't realize that until I covered Ohio State football prior to getting back into track and field recruiting. Some of those schools in Ohio, man, like Saint Xavier and
oh yeah.
Moeller and uh
Get into it.
Coloran and gosh, I don't even know some of these whatever, but
Yeah.
all these kids are like dressed in like red and all this stuff. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Body
what?
paint, full, yeah. It's
It's
cool.
it's crazy.
Fun.
I I played percussion too, but also oddly enough, I played the violin. So
Oh,
yes, that is like the
okay.
one instrument that's like, okay, whenever lactic acid takes off, I am going to buy a violin.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like there's
I'm
something
trying to think if
about like,
I knew anybody that played strings because we didn't really do orchestra. We just did band. So we didn't have the strings with that, but
there's something like about those horns, the trombone, and I love jazz music, the saxophone. There's something so soothing about it. Like I always thought like people who played like the trombone, especially the tuba, like you're a coal
impressive.
miner. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be a coal miner to play the tuba. But um I don't know, like they were always like the coolest people because there was so much swag about the trombone and everything. I don't know what it was about you guys. I mean, it explains the pole vault, but
Well, yeah. Yeah. I always had to do the things that made me stand out. So
so I don't know. That is interesting. And then I'm sitting here, you could literally, like, I feel like track and field has the most talented people in the world outside of the track. You could literally design like the Team USA uniforms, track and
ha!
field uniforms.
That'd be fun. I mean, I'm sponsored by Nike, and I think it'd be super cool to get into design with that, especially like athletic gear. I'm so it's always so fun getting the new kit and just seeing what they come up with and the design element to it. And so, yeah, I'm not creative enough to design things because with design, you have to be one step ahead of
That's
fashion.
true.
For
Yeah.
me, I like more of the styling element. So I
Yeah.
like what I see and kind of piecing things together. That's more of my thing. I think with design, you have to be just super creative and one step ahead. And I don't know that I'm that, but yeah, I like putting together outfits. So
Do you think that, once track and field is done, you'll explore what you can do in the fashion game?
potentially, I honestly have thought about a bunch of different avenues. I love fashion. I love coaching. I could see myself getting into coaching pole vault, or even just like personal training. Um, I like public speaking. I could see myself kind of doing that for at least a little while. I think once you have Olympian attached to your name, it kind of ups your ante a little bit with
Well,
doing public speaking opportunities. And I actually, so I'm engaged. I'm getting married in a couple of months, but I
yes,
thank you.
congratulations. Definitely
Thank you.
congratulations.
But I love wedding stuff. I've always loved weddings, and so I could see myself maybe even doing something in that industry. I don't whether that being a planner or just working in a bridal shop or something. I love it. So all kinds of options. We'll see, but
The skies, oh my gosh. But here's the thing, you said like if you just flash Olympian, if somebody tries you, it's like, okay, cool. My grandma was an Olympian. You'd be like, okay, well, does she have this? And then you put out that gold medal, like, oh, snap, my bad. Okay, come on in and give her the free access and everything. So,
I am
um,
waiting for the day I can pull the like Google Me card. Like what? That doesn't really. I don't know that I
oh,
can actually ever have that in me to do that. But like
mm,
going to like a track meet and somebody giving me a hard time, like that would be. I
it
don't
would
think
have to,
I have it in me, but it's
it
fun in
would be,
theory.
it's funny. No, I mean, you could, because I have seen like instances where people have, and I hope I didn't mess up your last name, but if somebody was like Katie Nageotte or something like that, then you just be like, okay, Google me. And like you'll see what's up, or like
Yeah,
an
I
official
mean,
gives you a hard time or something like that, Google me, Chuck, something like that.
uh, I joke about it. I when I do those hypothetical fights in my shower. That's when I like think I'd say it, but I don't think I'd ever actually have that in me to do it.
It's like everything is planned out in your head, like
Oh
what
yeah.
you're gonna say, how you're gonna say it, when you're gonna say it, the tone in which you're gonna say it. It's
I-
like there's a song that says, "Who you finna try?" It's like, I bet it ain't me, and then that's you. That's you in the shower, and then
That's
when it's
right.
actually, and then like you get to it, and then like you just go
Freeze. Frozen.
Eminem's, yeah,
Whatever you want
Frozen,
to say.
or Eminem's 8 Mile. Like your palms get sweaty, knees
Yeah.
weak, arms are heavy, and it's like, dang, like
Oh,
this
yeah.
this sucks. Like what happened?
I'm not as
Like
tough as I want to be, but we're getting there.
I don't know about all that. I feel like if somebody really crossed you, like that inner pole vaulting Sasha Fierce could come out and people could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I think if the right situation presented itself,
Yeah.
I can be pretty
Now
tough.
we don't want that to
Yeah,
happen.
let's hope not, but
No, but it's just
I can
like,
definitely like stand up for myself and hold my own, but I'm non-confrontational. So if it doesn't require anything, then I will.
so what is the go-to? Let's just go pre when you could have gluten. What is like the ultimate Katie Najat plate?
Are you talking pre-meat or just like my favorite thing?
Listen, we don't do health on this show. We're talking about, yes, come on now.
Well, what's funny is I I most of what I ate wasn't necessarily bad. My favorite food is sushi, but I eat like copious amounts of it, and I eat the giant rolls that have all the sauces and the fried stuff. So it's not exactly the healthiest, but it is good quality food. Like you're getting, the fish and seaweed in the rice. So I like just a ton of sushi. Going to a restaurant and ordering like 10 rolls with, 2 or 3
Oh
people, like, and just
boy.
not me, not alone, but just
Oh, that's what
and you
okay.
just order a ton of different ones and get a platter of it to share between everybody. But I also really like all Asian food. I like Thai food. I like Indian food. I like hibachi. Like, so
So
any.
I have to say this. I don't understand y'all people who eat sushi. I maybe it's just me growing up here. My roots come from Alabama. So if somebody's saying sushi, I'm thinking it's a fried egg roll or you're frying some kind of fish or something like that. Like my fish has to be cooked.
That's fair. They
Like,
have a lot of cooked rolls. So they have like fried shrimp rolls where it's literally fried shrimp in the
okay.
middle with rice around it. And then you can just dip it in good sauce. So that's how I started, was either a California roll, which is cooked crab, avocado, cucumber, and the rice, or fried like shrimp tempura, which is fried shrimp.
Yes.
And then I started with those and then just started to kind of branch into the raw stuff. And now I'm just full blown.
So you eat like raw salmon and
Yeah.
you eat Nemo and Dory with they wrapping in some seaweed and rice and everything. Like it ain't no.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't name them as I eat them, but yeah.
No, I mean you don't name them, but at the same time, somebody told me when I was eating fried calamari, it's like, how can you eat Squidward and not be? I'm like, well,
Gladly, tasty.
yes. I'm like, he understands.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
watch SpongeBob, we're doing him a favor.
Right.
So, oh boy, I will say this. I am a fried chicken to me. Like my saying is fried chicken is bad for the body, good for the soul. And then my overall saying is if you can't fry it, don't buy it. I have gotten into pho as of late.
Pho is awesome.
And
Really?
I cannot get enough. I don't know what they put in that broth.
It is so good. I like to put hoisin sauce and little sriracha. That's how I
Yes.
do mine. But yeah, the pho is really good. And also just like the vermicelli. So a lot of times when you go there, they'll just have like a plate of the rice noodles with shrimp in it as opposed to in the broth. And it's so good.
Well, I'm a rookie at this, so I didn't know this. Because
And that's
we
the
have
thing. I grew up not having any of this either because my mom had a pretty sensitive stomach. Go figure. Both my brother and I know. My mom had a sensitive stomach, and so we pretty much stuck to like the basic like chain restaurants where she could get like chicken, mostly chicken sandwich, chicken and rice.
chicken, yeah.
Um, and so like we didn't really grow up even having Mexican. We didn't really grow up having a ton of like fried foods. Like we didn't do a lot like any Asian. And so I just started branching out once I got a little bit older. And once you start, it's
You can't stop. Like
good. The flavors are just so good.
I've never tasted anything so succulent, so just like I felt like a new person like after I ate it.
That's pretty healthy. Like it just, you feel good like after. It's such a good fall, winter. So good.
Literally there's a picture. A friend and I went to this place called, it's called 24 hour or 24 hour.
Okay, I think I've seen that. Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious. When I
Really
tell
good.
you, I was emotional. like, like literally, like I felt like watching when I watched Ohio State beat Oregon for the 2015 national championship. That just touched my soul, like to a point where tears almost came out, and that was me eating that bowl of pho.
Yeah, I feel
And
that
so
when you find that new thing, that new dish that you haven't had before,
it's
this is it.
the only thing I cannot get with Vietnamese food is I do not do raw meat in the bowl. Like that nasty meat touching the noodles, touching the I
See, I
can't
don't
do it
mind
there,
that because it's so thin that it cooks it.
but
So
it's
that
still raw.
But you can do like raw beef. I wouldn't do chicken that way, but
No, there is a place. I think it's a hot pot place or whatever, where that water is like steaming hot, like it could take layers of skin off, and then you pour it, and then it cooks it. I was like, I can't do that. Like
that's
with
fair. That's
and they
fair.
do it with chicken and stuff like that. It's like no.
I mean, obviously, to some degree, it's fine because I don't think they'd be in business if it wasn't. But
That's fine. No, it's fine. I just can't do it. People, you see,
fair.
you brave. You are brave. We determined that you are amongst the bravest among us. That's not me. Zach Brown Band sang a song that I attribute to my life motto, and that says, I like my chicken fried. So that's kind of how I operate. But
On a Friday
on a Friday night, I don't do jeans, but if he put basketball shorts, and the radio up, that's me. What's like your go-to pho bowl? Because mine, I've only had it twice, and so for me, I got the chicken, I got onions or the scallions, I got a little bok choy, the rice noodles, and some sriracha, and a little hoisin sauce. That was
I
mine.
keep mine pretty basic. I will do the rice noodles. I'll do beef, and then some jalapenos. I like a little bit of
Ooh,
spice.
okay.
And then I'll sometimes throw in just a little bit of the basil.
Yes, basil, yes.
Just to kind of get that. And then hoisin, sriracha, onions. I do like onions in there, but I tend to keep it pretty. I don't do bean sprouts. Not a big bean sprout person.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, I don't mind them, but a lot of times they overload it, and I'm like, I don't need that many. So
I noticed that because they were like, you just eat it, like it's really good, and I was
it's
like,
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
It didn't. It's like my life would be okay if they were not in there.
Yeah.
Like, because it kind of, I don't know. There's just no like taste to it. And then I think it's, what is it called? The green onions or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. They put those in there. Now you said you like a little bit of spice, but in the same breath, you said sriracha and jalapeno. So it's like, no, it's like a flavor bomb of heat.
Thing is, I don't. It depends how it's done. So I like jalapenos de-seeded. So like,
Okay, that's fair.
You take the seeds out, or if you just put them in, like I won't eat the jalapenos themselves, but I like the flavor that it adds. I'll also add them to like when I get poke bowls. I'll add them in, but I won't always. It's basically like the deconstructed sushi, but I won't necessarily eat them. But I will have them in there just to kind of add, just enhance it a little bit.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
kick.
I said, see, I'm 28, so you may get this reference, but in like determining or trying to explain different flavors enhancers. So you're saying the de-seeded jalapenos are like the crystal light of like food or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little something.
Yeah, just a cool, nice Kool-Aid packet. I feel that. I like that. You're really brave because I don't get people like, and I can't say, yes, I can't say it. I've only had tuna fish that's like in the can or tuna fish salad. But
I don't
when
like tuna, and I don't actually. I like some salmon cooked, but not. I actually like it raw better.
Mm. But why? And what does that taste like?
I think just when it's mixed with, the thing is, it doesn't have a ton of flavor. Like when it's fresh, it doesn't taste fishy. Or like when it doesn't taste or smell fishy. So when it's fresh, it just kind of takes on whatever flavors are with it.
Oh, okay.
So I like the texture it adds to the whole dish, and I like it in the sushi rolls. But I don't do like the sashimi where it's just by itself. Like I want it on rice or with rice, like in some form. But yeah, I think
So,
like I said, you kind of work your way up. It's kind of like coffee. You start super super sweet, and then you start like that's too much. So then you take it less, and now you're drinking black. You start with the cooked stuff, and then you you get like the super big rolls that like kind of disguise the fact that you're eating raw fish, and then you just slowly but surely work your way up to eating sashimi. So yeah.
Oh boy. So in two, so we have an exclusive YouTube series called A Bucket of Track Talking Fried Chicken, where the guests we engage in wings, but we kind of don't talk track. We just talk about anything else.
Okay.
I was told that same thing that you just explained, but with Seinfeld. It's like you hate
Oh,
Seinfeld, but you're going to end up watching it.
okay.
I'm
See,
like,
I haven't watched a ton of Seinfeld. I respect it. I mean, it's just it's a reason. There's a reason it's a one of the most well-known shows, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
yeah, it's nothing that I want to get around to watching and everything.
Fair enough.
But I'm going to take a step out on bravery. I'm going to try. I'm going to try something. I'm going
Okay.
to get outside my comfort zone,
Okay.
and I'm going to try it.
Okay.
And I'm going to let you know how bad it tastes.
Ah!
And then the next thing you know,
Start with the shrimp tempura roll. Just start there. If you like fried food, like
yes,
that's a good place to start. And then a California roll. Those are kind of the two just nice and easy intro to sushi. Start there. See how you go.
I'm actually curious because I don't drink coffee. So I'm like,
Okay.
I'm and so that's why I think I posted on Facebook. I decided like I tried to get a poll. So I drank like one, it wasn't like regular coffee, it was like one of the mocha crap or frappa crap things.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of milk. And so my heart was beating so fast because if you're not used to drinking coffee, like it gives you heart palpitations. And
Yeah.
so I was like, let me try it again and stuff. And so people are throwing all these different like coffee orders. It sounded like hieroglyphics. And I just made the decision. I just rather be tired for the rest of my life than to indulge in coffee and stuff.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Like I
Uh
started like when I was in high school and I just wanted something to drink.
to
And
drink,
they had
yeah.
those like French vanilla machines that you just
Oh,
like $1 for the French vanilla latte or whatever. And then that I
this was
had
in
that
high
now for like,
school?
yeah, I wasn't allowed to, but I would drive myself to school. And if I had to stop at the gas station, I'd like get one every so often. And
Oh yeah.
it was when I was older though. Like I would say I was a senior. So it was like I was like 17 years old at this point. Yeah.
See, bravery right there. Um, so quick question before, but I am going to try sushi. I am going to try sushi. I'm going
All
to
right.
grow.
All
I'm
right.
going to evolve.
Awesome.
One last food question, then a quick television question.
Okay.
What is the food scene in Cleveland like?
I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's underrated. I mean, I think Cleveland in general is underrated.
That's
uh,
fair.
I think it gets a really bad rap, but I'm like, and I said this when I did my Hall of Fame speech, like people me such a hard time being from Cleveland. And when you tell them I'm from Cleveland, they make fun of you. It's just what they do. I'm like, I love that because they don't get it. They don't get how awesome it is. So, anyways, we have a lot of really cool restaurants popping up, just good quality food. I like it's actually a lot more than people would realize. We have a lot of breweries, so they have
Mm.
good food there. But yeah, it's actually we have a lot of good seafood restaurants, if you can believe it.
Oh,
So, yeah,
really?
yep.
I don't shout out to my former coworker Steve Hudak, who is from Cleveland, works down here at the Orlando Sentinel. Worked with him
Mhm.
for a minute, big Buckeye fan.
Yeah.
And he gave me some restaurants, but I don't get why people crap on people from Cleveland because I met some people from Cleveland. Granted, I've never been to the city,
Yeah.
but I don't, and I've been to Ohio, been to Columbus. I don't have anything bad to say about people
So,
from Cleveland. Like, I don't
you know,
understand why they give you crap.
I
Like
mean,
they're
there was definitely a point when it wasn't the nicest. But and I think, the whole, you know, mistake on the lake, like, and then our sports
oh
teams have been struggling. And so, not all of them. I mean, the Guardians just did phenomenal. I mean, the Browns, they've had a rough start, but like we've had a good couple years in the past.
It
And
ain't gonna get no better for
because
this season. This season, yes.
it's like it's coming around, but I think, once you have that stigma, then it's just like it's an easy target. And
It's not a fair target because I just
thank you.
don't understand. It seems like a growing city. It seems there's a lot of talent in the Cleveland area. There's some good
There is.
schools like talking about football, you have to mention Glenville High School, St. Ignatius. I think this the squad. So, and it just seems like the people there, from my view of Cleveland, is you got a bunch of hard, like blue collar, hard working people, but they're like normal people, like
Yep.
that. Like you guys are like pumpkin skeletons or something like that. Like
Yeah.
the weirdest people. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Thank you. Yeah, everyone that I bring to visit or comes to visit me there, after they leave, they're like, "Oh, Cleveland's awesome." And so
Yeah.
the wedding is in Cleveland, and people are literally flying in from England for it. So I'm kind of excited. Granted, it's on New Year's, so it's not going to be like the nicest time of year to really explore, but at least like we can show them a good time.
Hey, listen, there's no better time to go to a bar than when it's cold outside
Amen.
and everything. So, wow. Well, you will not get any Cleveland hate from me because I
Thank
think
you.
it's, people, I've heard some things about other places in Ohio, but
Fair
Cleveland
enough.
is certainly not one of them. So, and like I said, Cleveland is great because it, there's, there's so many great people who competed in Cleveland. What is it? Bernie Kosar and
Yep.
you got LeBron and you have yourself. Um, and everything,
Yeah, we've got
Jim
some.
Brown and
Mm.
so yeah, just bump that. What did Braun say? Cleveland, this is for you. That's what this podcast is dedicated to. Well, really, you said it too. So
I did.
um what's the go-to television show?
It depends. I was just watching House of the Dragon.
Oh,
And so I watched that this season. I loved Game of Thrones when it was on. I know the ending gets a really bad rap. I get it. I think the last few episodes were rushed in comparison to the rest of the series, but it doesn't ruin it for me.
that's
Um,
fair.
and I still liked elements of the final season. I mean, the one whole episode was a fight sequence, the entire episode where
Yeah.
they, you know. But I also really like Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm watching that too. So I do both ends of the spectrum.
Let me ask you a question. What is it with these y'all track and field athletes? And I have been blessed to interview some incredible athletes. And almost every single one of them has this affinity and love for for reality television.
Yeah.
I'm like, we compete in track and field. Like, isn't that enough drama? Like, as
Well,
it
I
is?
think there is something to watching drama when we're not involved in it.
That's
And
fair. That's
somebody
fair.
used the analogy once that like reality TV is like junk food for your mind. Like it's
Okay.
bad for you, but it tastes good. Like
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, every so like I don't watch many of them. Bachelor in Paradise is pretty much it. Like I don't do Housewives or Kardashians or any of that really. So I've got a couple, but like that's pretty much it. So
How much of that do you think is real?
like 0%. I mean,
Because
I think what they do is they create a situation where people get their emotions. The emotions are real, but they're ultra heightened, and then they manipulate the situation. Where I read an article where they don't feed them very well, but they give them a ton of alcohol. They sleep deprive them. And then they just let them, and they don't give them any access to the outside world. So you don't give phones. I heard you can't even bring books. Like, so you literally just have to like be in this house, like competing for one person.
so it's
Sleep
Survivor,
deprived,
essentially.
angry, and drunk. Like, chaos will ensue. So
That's so bad. Like
it's,
the
I
first
mean,
thing,
these people sign up for it, know what they're getting. I mean, I don't think they always do, but it's just,
no, it's actually kind of funny because I had to write a quick story about Matt James. Um
yes, he had
and
quite an interesting season.
Yeah, and he's running the NYC marathon. I was like,
Yeah.
and I actually watched one season. I don't know if it was the was it the Bachelorette? Um, I was like, y'all crazy. like like
Yeah,
like
it's
literally, but now
entertaining.
that you it is, I don't know, I get frustrated. Like
That's fair.
I see them and it's just like
No, that's fair.
somebody needs to shake you. Like just but now that you like explain it, it makes sense because well, first of all, here's the thing. If you tell me we're limiting your food, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm going
Well,
to the
yeah.
weekend. I'm
I
go-
don't know that they know that. I think they just feed them at very specific times, and it's not like a ton. So
okay. Well, just
I
know
think
that
that, yeah,
when
I
I
don't think
got
they know going in quite what they're getting into. So,
well, if there's anybody who's thinking about going on that show, then you heard it here first.
just
Uh,
know, I mean, if you can go in and like tell yourself to keep your wits about you, even when all hell is breaking loose around you, then you're gonna be fine.
you're gonna be fine. Because listen, when they give me that little tray of food, then I'm going. I'm going home. I'm like this. I will walk 500 miles if I have to. So we are approaching a new season, and like I said, your story is so amazing to so many people. For anybody who's looking to follow in your footsteps, what piece of advice would you give them? Not just young girls, but maybe some of the people that you compete, with who look to take inspiration from the great things that you've done.
Yeah, I think I my biggest learning lesson through all of this has just been that if it doesn't happen immediately, it does not mean it's not going to happen. I think as human beings, we want things immediately, especially like this generation is very just immediate gratification and immediate. I mean, look at social media, look at like just everything is instant results, instant, you know. And it took me until my senior year of high school to win states. It took me until my senior year of college to win nationals. And it took me until 5 years out of college to win US nationals and then another few years. So it just, I love that this sport keeps you honest and like actually like you can't just want it more than the next person. You have to put in the work. But if it doesn't happen immediately, it doesn't mean it won't happen. I know like everyone has a different path. And I think what's cool is my training partner, Sandy Morris, she and I have had very different paths and have both been very successful in what we do. She made the team right out of college. She signed a contract right out of college. She was silver medalist immediately, like and she like in so many different. I mean, she's medaled in almost every major championship
Everyone.
she's ever been in. And so, but like that was not me. It took me 5 years out of college to make that team and sign a contract. And so, um, I just yeah, I hope that I can show people it's as long as you just grind and and keep believing in yourself, like some pretty cool things can happen.
You have survived the interrogation process. Now, time for the fun stuff.
Okay.
This segment is called Down the Home Stretch. I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire questions. I want you to answer them to the best of your ability. But
Okay.
here's the thing, if you don't, it's all good. I don't care. Just give it your best shot. You are competing for a place on the medal stand.
Ooh,
Um,
no.
that
I'm
yes,
not ready.
that includes, and I this is so bad, I should remember it, but whether it's Vanessa Fraser, Sinclair Johnson, Laura Thweet, Marley Stolliper, Kara Winger, some impressive champions, and I am confident that you will join in with that bunch. Are you ready?
Absolutely not, but let's go.
Let's do it. If there was a food that you had to live with and a food that you had to get rid of for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Food to live with would be sushi. Food to get rid of, I could live without pizza.
Oh boy.
I know
So if
most
I
people would never say that, but I'm fine never having pizza.
I've had some weird answers, so I just have to say that if I stop and ask you to elaborate, that doesn't count against the time. So I
Ah,
have to ask this. So actually, you know what? Bump this. I'm gonna make it a
I'm
question.
trying to keep it like very normal things. Like I'm not
No,
gonna
no, 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 no.
put
That's fine. That's
gross
fine.
things on there.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So since you hate pizza, this is question's gonna not gonna be a problem. Deep dish or New York style?
New York style.
Okay. What was the favorite place that you've taken a vacation to?
The Bahamas, where I just was for my bachelorette party, Exuma.
Okay, that's
So
what it
nice.
is.
So
That's
nice.
awesome. Weather, water, all that stuff had to be amazing.
Yes.
Okay, definitely. If you had to play any position on the Cleveland Browns because you felt like it gave them the best chance to win, what position would you play?
Okay, best chance to win. Probably receiver. I'm fast, so if I could get out in front of people, then I could. I mean, not fast against the men, but like if it was with women, I
Well, listen, if you watch the games, you're faster than some of them on the team. So,
I don't have a lot of agility, so I wouldn't say running back, but I would say receiver.
well, they have Nick Chubb, so they're good there.
Yes, he's
But they definitely need somebody to go out and catch those deep routes, those go routes. And heck, they need a kicker too. So, the possibilities are endless.
I could try.
All right. So a few more questions. If you had to be a guest on any talk show, what show would you be a guest on?
Oh gosh. I would say Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, that would actually be a fun show.
I like her.
If
Or
if
James Corden.
oh, okay,
One of
James
the funny
Corden.
ones. I like both. So
Would you ever do cartoon karaoke?
the carpool karaoke? Yeah.
Cartoon
I was
karaoke.
like,
Oh boy,
cartoon. I haven't seen that one yet.
that would be lit too. But the
That'd be fun.
carpool karaoke.
Yeah.
Okay, I am down with that. If there was a theme song to describe your life, what would it be?
Theme song to describe my life. The first thing that came to my mind is the Friends theme song because that's also one of
Na,
my
na, 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 na.
and like I guess I it's true for my friends. Like I
I'll
would do
be there
anything for
for
my
you.
friends. So uh,
What friend's character do you think you relate to?
definitely Rachel because I love shopping. I'm definitely a bit ditzy. I'm a little selfish. Like yeah.
Hey, listen, she was a main contributor on that show. So listen,
Self-aware.
yeah, so there's no wrong with that episode. All right, a couple more questions. What is the best era of television and best era of music?
Ooh, best era of television. I mean, I loved the cartoons I grew up with, like Fairly Odd Parents,
Yes,
Bob, all the Disney shows at that time. I liked. And then what was the second part of the question?
best era of music.
I would say 2000s, like hip hop, like Nelly, and
Oh gosh.
like anytime like back that ass up comes on, I'm like, yes.
That's you. That's you. Okay, I see you, Katie. Okay. Gosh, turn it into
Excuse
lactic
my
acid.
French. Excuse my French. It's a
Oh,
song.
it's
I'm
okay.
quoting it. Uh,
Listen, that's okay. What's that? Listen, that's old school. I'd listen to Air Force Ones.
yes,
I,
everyone hot in
I,
here.
uh, oh my gosh, there's a song, Danger. Okay, maybe we get to. Okay, we're getting to. All right, what was the best '90s cartoon show? Mine
90s.
is the Rugrats. So I'm curious to hear
Yeah,
yours.
I I think I watched Rugrats the most. I'll say Rugrats.
Okay. So yes, this makes me happy because for whatever reason, I've had 4 episodes so far where we've talked about 90s Nickelodeon television and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Disney.
Hey Arnold was really good too.
Hey Arnold's been the popular answer.
Yeah. Rugrats I like more.
Me too. I'm definitely I see you're brave like Tommy. I'm a Chucky Finster brother myself.
No. Depends on the day.
Okay, 3 more questions. So naturally, I just forgot one of them, but that's okay. We are going to bounce back. If there was, let's just say they were going to make a movie about your life, who is the character that you wish to portray you in the movie? Who's the
Uh,
actress?
I'll say Emma Stone because
I
I've
can see that.
actually had people tell me I look like her, which is a huge compliment. But I like different people at different points have told me I look like different characters she's played, even when they've had like dark hair, when she's had dark hair, light hair. So
Okay. All right, two more questions. If there was somebody who could narrate the pole vault, the intense moments of the pole vault, who would you choose?
Uh, Tom Hamilton, the he's a sports reporter for the Guardians. He's actually up for an award. He was inducted into the Cleveland Hall of Fame, and he's up for a national sports announcer award. He just is so animated, and when good things happen, the way his voice gets, it's kind of like when Tom Hanks starts like yelling and like he gets that graveliness in his voice. Tom
Yeah.
Hanks has the same effect, and I've always said like I would love for him to commentate on a meet.
Listen, like Tom, let's do it, man. Because
Yeah.
listen, there's when Tom Hanks, all the characters, whether it's Woody on Toy Story,
Yeah.
anybody, it's legit.
Yeah.
Last question: why
Yeah.
does kindness matter?
Oh, because it just makes the world a better place. Gosh, there'd be a lot less issues, I think, if people were just kinder to each other.
Oh,
uh,
for sure.
yeah.
Bonus question: what's the score? What will be the score on November 26th or 27th or 28th,
100
whenever
to
that's
0.
so? See, she didn't even have to. She knew
Yeah,
what it is.
I
Can
know.
we get an OH?
I know.
There
Yeah.
we
I
go.
hopefully, fingers crossed. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a
It
very, very good
is.
game. So,
I'm looking. Well,
yeah.
by the time this is posted, Ohio State will have already beaten. Okay, Ohio State will have played Penn
I
State.
like it. I like
So looking forward to it. Bounce
it.
back national championship. We're coming. Katie, thank you so much. Where can the people find you and support you?
Thank you. I would say mostly on Instagram, KTNAGO13, and that's also my handle on Twitter. I do post. I have a Facebook page. It's just Katie Nageotte Pole Vault. I'm on TikTok, Katie Nageotte. So
Oh,
I'm on all of them, but I'm definitely most active on Instagram. So
well, Katie, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us here at Lactic Acid. And I want to congratulate you not just on your success, but you are about to take on another championship and winning or another gold medal, and you're going to get married. And I'm excited for you. And I wish you all the love, peace, and chicken grease this life has to offer you. Until next time, peace.
thank you.